Cambodia has declared a national day of mourning after at least 378 people were killed in a stampede in the capital Phnom Penh. Hundreds more were injured when people were crushed on a small island on the final day of the water festival. The country's Prime Minister Hun Sen described the stampede as the biggest tragedy to hit Cambodia since the mass killings carried out by the Khmer Rouge regime in the 1970s. Southeast Asia correspondent Zoe Daniel reports.
In a panicked group, they crushed each other to death. The reason for the stampede is unclear, but the deadly results won't be reversed with answers. In the heat, as they were pressed together on a bridge designed for far fewer, they removed their shoes and clothes, left as a grim reminder of their owners.
I was stuck in the crowd for a long time, and it was so hot and I became unconscious.
Phnom Penh's famous annual water festival attracts millions. But this year, a big crowd in a confined space along the river became a deadly combination. On the festival's last night, hundreds crossing the river for shopping and concerts suffocated, were crushed underfoot or jumped over the sides and drowned. Many more will still be pulled from the river. It's a scene of death that Cambodia knows all too well, in a different context, and it's shocked this newly optimistic nation.
This
is the biggest tragedy we have experienced in the last 31 years, since the collapse of the Pol Pot regime.
At hospitals around the city today, there was confusion and ultimately devastation as people searched for the missing and the dead. Up to 400 died, most young women out having fun. An investigation is underway.
For
the moment, we cannot release a report because we're waiting to speak to the survivors.
Australian fireman Paul Herford runs an NGO in Cambodia to help coordinate major incidents. He and his team were impressed with the organisation of the recovery effort, but even for these seasoned specialists, the scene was shocking.
Personally, I found it quite challenging. It was a very large incident, and as we see now, we've got over 345 fatalities from the event, and another 300 plus people seriously injured. So, I mean, in any scale, whether we're here in Cambodia or in a developed country in a big city, it's still a major incident and still quite challenging for anyone to deal with.
In hospitals across the city, those whose loved ones were injured maintain a bedside vigil. Chia may have brain damage, and doctors fear he won't recover to care for his wife and 2 children again.
Cambodia has never seen such a big death toll from such an unnecessary incident.
15-year-old Moam saw people dying around him. He couldn't help them.
It was so hot and I couldn't even think about what was happening around me.
There'll be a national day of mourning on Thursday for a country that's once again grieving for its people.
The floats from this year's water festival are now being pulled down, but unfortunately the memories of this year's event will take a long time to fade for all the wrong reasons. Zoe Daniel, Late Line.